All right, The Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 6, The Price. For everyone who's been missing Joel, he's back for a flashback this episode. Next week is the last one for the season, the last episode. And of course, they're already working on season 3. I don't know if season 3 is already done or if they're working on it. There is a season 3 confirmed. So we got Joel back for an hour. It's probably, I think it's the longest episode of the season. And it's a flashback mainly about Joel and Ellie. But before I get into that, the episode, it starts with we got Tony Dalton in this episode. He's playing Joel and Tommy's dad. We see them both as kids. Tommy's worried that his dad's gonna come home and beat him with the belt. He was out buying weed, and the kid he was buying from tried to rip him off, and Joel happened to be nearby, and he came in and beat the snot out of the kid. And so Joel tells Tommy to go wait in the room, and then their dad comes home and he asks Joel like what happened, and Joel covers for Tommy, tells him that he knows that he's lying, and Joel's like, I'm not gonna let you hurt him. Their dad he grabs 2 beers and gives it to him, and he's like, did I ever tell you about the time I bought a candy bar, or I stole a candy bar? And he says that his dad clocked him so hard that it broke his jaw just because he stole a candy bar when he was a kid. Obviously not excusing hits his kids, it seems like, but he's like, yeah, sometimes I may hit you guys, but not nearly as bad as I used to get hit. I try to be better, and I hope that Joel, one day you're better than me. So at least he wasn't entirely trying to enable himself. So some, again, if you've grown up in an environment like that, or still live in one like that, sometimes it's like, well, I had it way worse when you were a kid, so you can't complain about anything, kind of thing. They switched it up, and I mean, he was kind of saying that, but he was also like, I'm trying to be better than my dad, trying to be better, but still not perfect. Again, not excusing any abuse that he put them through. And of course, this story leads into Joel's relationship with Ellie, and how he won't hurt Ellie, but he's willing to hurt anyone around them that's trying to hurt her. It was an interesting opening scene, and I just love the cameos in this show because you just see actors and you're like, whoa, ooh, ah. That's always fun. So, and then the rest of the episode is Joel and Ellie again. It's a flashback, and it's filling in the 5 years between the 2 seasons, and it shows every year except for 1 year, I think, her 18th birthday, but it shows her other birthdays leading up. Joel is trying to one up himself. The first year he's getting a cake made from Seth, and he's making a guitar for Ellie. He's grinding down these bones and just making this guitar. He's etching a little moth drawing that Ellie has, because Ellie's obsessed with moths now, saying that she sees them around and she's in her dreams, and she's thinking it's some kind of symbolism. Joel ends up asking Gail about the moths, and she's like, usually that symbolizes death, and that kind of worries him because she's got them everywhere. She's got one tattooed on her. There's another year where he takes her to a museum. She sees a dinosaur statue that she climbs on, and then he takes her to this it's the cockpit of a Apollo spaceship or something, and he gives her a rock, and she smashes one of the displays and gets an astronaut helmet, and they're sitting in the cockpit. He gives her a tape recording of the moon landing, the launch, so she's sitting there listening to it, getting immersed in it, which was a pretty cool scene. Especially growing up in the apocalypse, we're used to it. Growing up, we're used to seeing, at least I was used to seeing, I've seen a couple space shuttle launches and stuff like that growing up. Never in person, being there, that'd be sweet, but just on TV. But for Ellie, not even really. I'm sure she's heard about astronauts and whatnot, but actually being able to hear it, maybe one day she'll be able to watch an actual video recording of it. And it was just nice seeing that childlike innocence in Ellie. I know a lot of people are complaining that Bella Ramsey isn't Ellie from the game, but of course it's not the game. And I think Neil Druckmann just wanted to do a different take on Ellie. He didn't want to copy and paste what they did with the game into here. They wanted Bella Ramsey to do her own thing, which I understand a lot of people don't like, but also, as I said in previous reviews, people just attack Bella Ramsey for it, which is not okay, of course. You can have actual criticisms about someone and their performance and whatnot, but you don't need to attack how they look. I was watching this episode and I was like, ooh, people are gonna be having a heyday with this one because she's getting excited about cake, space, and stuff, and people are like, why is she acting so childish? Why is she such a kid? I can already see people complaining. But yeah, so speaking of Gail, we finally see what happens with Eugene, who was her husband. Ellie's 19th birthday, Joel takes her on her first patrol, but they go down the little kiddie trail where nothing happens. They get a call from camp saying that Eugene's team got Eugene got ambushed, and when they show up there, he's bit, and he asks to be brought back to camp, and so we could see Gail one last time before they have to kill him. Of course, Joel having to make tough decisions is we can't do that. Ellie makes him do this like hand holdout test where he like counts to 10. I don't remember what that was. If that was like shown, like how does that prove you're not infected? I'm probably not remembering something. So if someone could let me know. After that, Joel's like, fine, Ellie, go get the horses and I'll meet you down there. And he says, I promise. Which we knew he wasn't gonna actually do that. I think Ellie even kind of knew, but she was like, okay, we'll see. Yeah, Joel takes Eugene out the side of this cliff somewhere. It's got a nice view. And Joel's like, don't turn. He's like, don't turn around. Eugene's like begging, of course. He's like, no, don't do it. Let me go see Gail. And Joel's like, if you love somebody, you can see their face anywhere. And so Eugene kind of stops and thinks, and you can see on his face he finally like visualizes her, and he even says it. And then Joel kills him. Ellie shows up. She's obviously devastated, but I don't think she's like surprised. More so that Joel straight up was like, I promise, to her face, and instantly just was like, nope, just straight up lied to her face. And then when they go back to camp, Gail shows up and Joel's like, yeah, Eugene didn't want to come back to camp. He didn't want to risk it. He shot himself. He was a hero. And then Ellie's like, actually, no, that's not what happened. And she's really upset about what happened, as you should be. She tells Gail the truth. She like slaps Joel in the face and tells him to go away. That's like the start of like the main like big rift between the two of them, because earlier in the episode, Ellie was already coming up with questions to ask Joel about the Fireflies thing, about the Firefly Hospital. This basically just confirmed her suspicions, and it shows the party again from the beginning of the season, and afterwards Joel's sitting on the patio and Ellie walks up, basically asks him again about the Fireflies and says that if like you're lying, that she's like they're done. Like she's just gonna not ever talk to him again. And yeah, and like this is like the like probably like one of the best scenes like you've seen Pedro Pascal do lately, like in terms of acting. Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff he's done lately has not been very much allowing him to, like, really show his dramatic acting chops, which we know he's a good actor, a good dramatic actor, but this scene really shows it, because she's, like, asking him questions, and he's not even, like, saying anything. He's just nodding, like, yes or no, and he's, like, tears building up and stuff, and it's just, like, you can just see it in his face, and just the acting is amazing, that he doesn't even have to speak. He just has to nod or do this, and he's speaking paragraphs with just his facial movements. And Ellie's mad again, rightfully so. She has a lot of things to be mad about, rightfully so. She's mad that her purpose in life that she feels, because making a cure would have saved a lot of people, even though that she died. So she feels that her purpose in life was taken away and that her life has no meaning. But she also says that she doesn't know if she can forgive Joel, but she's gonna try. So that's where they kind of leave that. And at the end, Ellie's walking through she's walking through this street, and it's raining, and she's got her hood on, and I'm guessing she's already taken care of Nora, and she's walking to this theater. So I don't know if that's like she got some information out of her, and that's where Abby's hiding out. But again, next week is the last episode, so I guess we will see. All around, I feel like a lot of people who weren't really on board this season, I feel like this episode might change some things, because again, it fills in the blanks from the 5 years you were missing, so it gives a lot of things more context. I wonder what people who weren't as into this season up to this point, what they think of this episode, and if it really does anything for them, because I feel like this was a much needed episode, not only because you having Joel back, but again, filling in some holes. You weren't really sure if Ellie already knew at this point about the Fireflies. There were like signs that she knew, but this actually confirms it. So yeah, let me know down below if y'all seen this episode. Did you like this episode? Do you like this season? Do you not like this season? Let me know. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I like the season. It's just like a slow burn. The season really is just like a bridge season to get to the next season where most of the action is going to happen. But again, I'm invested in the world and the characters, and I'm excited for the next week's finale. So hit the like button, subscribe, peace.